Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Just the Tip, a daily short video on writing tips garnered from my work and the work of mainstream writers whose work I enjoy or respect. Today, we're going to start with the most basic tip of creating writing at all. Read a lot, write a lot. Stephen King once said, "The best writers are the people who read voraciously. They come to understand structure and cadence and how a story works without having to study." The point, though, is commitment. Just like anything, you have to take the time to read what you enjoy, the genre you want to explore, and most importantly, read the classics. Everything in creative writing comes from classical thinkers: Aristotle, Plato, Sun Tzu, Shakespeare, etc. This gives you direct knowledge of how things are structured and how they change and thought processes instead of relying on communal knowledge, things that you've heard, things like that. If you do not have enough time to read, you don't have the ability to write. It's simple as that. If you don't have the time to write, well, you can't write. You see what I mean? Let me clarify. Audiobooks work as well as physical reading. However, it is best to vary reading and listening if you can. Listen to audiobooks in the car, when you're doing chores, things like that. But also try to read physical books as well. Because when you look at a book, if you open a physical book, you can see how dialogue breaks up paragraph structure, things like that. Things that most of us grew up learning about and should recognize immediately. However, if you haven't spent a lot of time reading physical books lately, you will tend to lose that. Then sit and write. If it's bad, so what? You aren't going to have to show it to anyone, right? You aren't going to be judged by anyone but yourself. Write for yourself and then edit and rewrite for your intended audience. You just have to sit down and do it. And it's going to not seem right in the beginning. You're not going to understand. You're going to grow. You write a little bit every day. Tell a story, create the characters, write. And as you go, you will grow. I suggest any of you who wish to go back and watch one of the very first videos I put out called Night Terrors, and then go from there to the last video, which is chapter 4 of Circles Riven, and listen to that, and listen to the difference, because I went from not writing very much, maybe every writing something every few weeks, to writing every single day. I have stories upon stories upon stories, most of which nobody will ever hear or listen to because they're not very good. And that's just the way it is. I may go back later on and rewrite those, but we'll see. So, like I said, you write for yourself in the beginning. You don't share it with anybody. You don't show it to anybody. And when you feel like you're proud of it, show it to me. I'll critique it. My way of critiquing is I always try to say 3 good things for every one thing that I believe needs to be corrected. So I talk about things that I like, 3 things that I like in what's going on, to 1 thing that I think needs to be fixed. So you're fixing things with positive reinforcements. Just write, just read, and do a lot of it. So that's today's tip, and just the tip. So as always, remember, your story is the most important one you will ever write. So make it a great one, and enjoy.